I have to admit that I am not on the trail I want to be, and I'm actually, I wouldn't say I'm lost, but I'm not sure which trail I'm supposed to take. I think all those little fence posts are painted. I don't think they're markers, which was my mistake for thinking that it was a marker. I'm gonna go back this way. That other hiker went off in a different direction. I didn't speak to him or anything. So I'm gonna go back this way, and I believe there is a trail off to my right somewhere that I'm gonna come back to. And I'm gonna take that trail. I'm thinking I'm gonna find the trail off to the right somewhere, and I'll take that one. There was an information board here, so obviously it's here for somebody. Talking about gopher tortoises, so I can't believe that they would bother putting it if it wasn't the trail. Here's the information board I was talking about. You can see that other hiker all the way in the distance over there. He turned off there. So there's going to be a trail coming up here by the information board. I'm going to take this. And I think this is the other trail I'm looking for. Information board, and I'm back on trail. A little further along, I'm basically heading back the way I just came, but a little bit off that road. And I just reached the 2-mile mark of walking. Some of it is a lot of backtracking as I try to feel out my way of where I'm supposed to be, and I've been hiking for 1 hour so far. So nice breeze though across this open area, so it's keeping the temperatures down. And the decision point here, I am going to go off to the right. I can see that's one blaze right there, so I want to do the 2 lines, but I can't see the markings there. It doesn't look like markings. So I'm going to take this trail and we'll see where it goes. But I believe this is the loop, the west loop. But until I see a marking, I'm not going to be entirely sure. So I've learned my lesson to stay to the hiking trail and off the sandy road. more than less. But you still get to the same place. So, but I did make a little wrong direction there. I believe I went too far along that path. So I'm going to stay to the hiking trails as much as possible now, going forward, and trust what I'm doing. There's a marking coming up on the tree. We'll see what that one is. My first 2 blaze or 2 vertical markings, so I know I'm on the west loop now. So I did walk most of the, I walked half of the connector before I turned around. So it wasn't that far, probably maybe a 1/4 mile round trip. So anyway, we're on the right path right now. We're going to stay on this and take this around to the loop. We should be coming to another spur trail that goes off, and I'm going to keep an eye out for that. A little further down, I can tell I'm walking on this trail here until I reach that, I think it's called the Eagle Spur. I got to check the map again. So there you can see 2 blazes on that tree there, and if I look across, I can see a single blaze, and I can see that's the road that I was on. And I just think all the fence posts have that single blaze painted on them. So I don't know, I assume there were markings. They may very well be to tell you that's the connector, or it could be that they just marked them so no one will run into them. Although I think orange fluorescent paint would have been better and not confuse me as much. But I know I'm pretty sure that's the connector trail, and that this is the other trail that I'm supposed to be on. So we're back on track. Our navigation is working. Got to bring up my map reading skills, I guess, a little bit. Yeah, that map's just not really detailed, and I think there could be some more markings, especially at some of the intersections. But you know what? It's adequate to get where you need to go. You just got to take your time. And thankfully, I took a picture of the trailhead of that map that's on the kiosk, because without that, I would have no idea where I'm going. Further along, you got this nice little bench overlooking, I don't know if this is a marshy area or it's bone dry now, but this looks like it could be maybe a little pond during wetter times. So yeah, nice to see. If you want to take a break, have a drink, have a snack, I'm gonna keep going. Just after that area with the little bench there, I was looking on the map from the kiosk to see if it has that bench on there or you know, a place to rest, but it doesn't depict it on the map, just so I could get an idea of where I'm at. But I believe I'm going the right way, so we'll continue going. But you see, even with you know, best intentions and maybe not a good map, it's easy to get turned around. But if you calm down, you use some logic, you can usually figure out your way. And I realized pretty fast that I didn't think I was on the right trail, so I turned around. Don't continue going into the unknown. If you think you're lost or you're not on the right path, you don't keep going. You turn back, go to a place you know, and then work the problem from there. So, and usually you'll be able to figure out what you did wrong. Sometimes you can't see a sign. They may have fallen or been covered up or just eroded away, or someone could have removed them actually. So sometimes when you walk the other direction, like a couple of times I saw hiking signs, you know, for the trail, but it's from the other direction. That's why I turn around if I'm lost a lot, because I look, usually if there's a blaze on a tree or a post, it's on the other side as well. So you can usually see it on both sides, so I can make sure that I'm actually on that trail. Further along, I have a board here explaining what fires do for the forest and how important it is. And the trail continues across there. So we are going to continue staying on this trail and not stay on this road. And I think this is the equestrian trail, and I think that's depicted by the red markers on the trail. But I'll have to look at it again. I forgot what it is. If they're diamonds or what. Or squares, I think they are. I think the equestrian trail is the red squares, and that makes a giant loop to the park. So it's kind of good in a way, because every time I cross that, I kind of know where I'm at. You can see I'm in the pines over here, and it's a little bit more shade. This trail is out in the open a lot. I would definitely recommend sunscreen. I'm glad I brought my hat, but I did not put sunscreen on. And I actually took it out of my backpack last time I went hiking because it was cloudy and raining, and I definitely wouldn't have needed it. See, there's rocks over here. It doesn't look like they belong here. They're all over the ground. I've been stepping over them, so I don't know if they're filling in holes or they're here for a reason, but it just seems really weird to see, you know, gravel like that in the middle of this field. Anyway, we'll continue going on. I returned my chest strap that holds the camera while walking. I didn't like it. Didn't think it did a good job. I didn't find it very useful. I ended up holding the camera almost the whole time. So I just returned that. I'm gonna buy another one that I think clips onto the pack straps, and I think that'll be a little bit more useful. At least I can store it and not hold it in my hand. Even if it doesn't help hold it to record, it just gets it out of my hand. I like having my hands free when you're walking, if you go to fall or something, and this way the camera won't get damaged, hopefully, if I fall. I have a new battery pack that I am carrying if I need to charge stuff up. I bought it a little while ago, but I haven't been using it, but now I'm carrying it. I took the old one out. Sadly, my really good one I bought a couple of years ago started swelling, so I feel it's unsafe to use. So I'm gonna have to recycle it and dispose of it. But sad because it was pretty expensive. It was like almost $100, but it's lightweight. Okay, a little further along. Oh, pretty very close to me. I know what it is. It says here Marsh Overlook. So I believe this is the side trail that I've been looking for. And I'm finally at the Eagle Spur hiking trail. So I'm gonna take this, and it does look like it's in fact 3 markings. Yep, so we know where we are. Thankfully, that clearly looks like 2 vertical with 1 on top. And that's the symbol for this spur trail. It's not listed as very long. I think it's a half mile. Yes, I just checked the picture I took of the map, and it says the Eagle Spur is 1/2 mile. Further down the trail, this is not the end of the trail. This is just a side trail. Obviously people come here to look, and you can see how low this area is. Look at that. There's just a little bit of water left. It's almost all gone. And there's nothing here but the one egret enjoying the watering hole. It does look like there's a trail on the other side though. Kind of weird. But I'm not going to walk across that, obviously. I'm going to go back to the trail and follow it. So, unless this is the trail. I don't think so though. And here's the blazes that we're looking for. A little triad of vertical blazes. And we're going to continue. It probably just leads around. This trail continues probably around that little pond area. And as suspected, this trail continues on the other side of this pond, so it just circles it. And we're going to keep going. We'll come back this way. This is a in and out, so we'll have to take this same trail to return back to the west loop. But so far so good. Man, look at the size of this pine cone. Look at that. The ones last time were big. This one is really big, almost the size of my head. And we're coming up to a dirt path again. I don't know if this is the equestrian trail. I believe it is, but I've learned my lesson, and I'm going to continue directly across to the trail where it continues. I will not be walking on this. Follow the hiking trail. Just walking up the trail. This is one pine tree here, and look at all these pine cones here, just from the one tree, and there's still plenty on it as well. So it's making a lot of cones for that one tree. Just seems like someone just dumped a whole load of them there. And I raised the resolution on the camera to a higher resolution after my last outing with that bobcat, because the image, because it was so far away, it was not very good, and I can't blow it up to make it look much better because it starts pixelating. So I'm thinking that's the reason to have a better camera. So, but this is good for what it does, but I really wish I would have had better footage of that encounter. You know, who knows if that'll ever happen again. So, but it is what it is. So eventually, hopefully I will get all my gear back, and maybe I'll decide to go with my camera that I already have, but it's in storage right now while I'm between residences. So I wasn't going to bother digging it out and finding it. And, okay, there's a bench here. I don't know if this is the trail I'm supposed to be on. I don't see another trail going across. I'm going to look around for a second, check the map. From what I can tell from the map, I believe I have finished the spur trail because I've joined this equestrian trail, which is the red square, I think it is. They're marked with geometric shapes. So I think it's the red. So this is the equestrian trail primarily. So I believe the trail ends here at this bench. So I'm actually going to take a second. I'm going to use the bench. I'm going to have something to eat. I have not had any breakfast, and I'm going to have something to drink because I've been walking now for an hour and a half. I'm just over 3.2 miles, and we'll take a break. This is like the halfway point for me, and we'll start heading back. Thank you to whoever put this bench here. We had the jerky and probably about 500 milliliters of water, and we're going to start walking back now. So we're backtracking on this trail that we came up on. This trail, the dirt path, does look like it continues further up, and it looks like it meets some other dirt road that goes to some of the neighboring areas. However, it looks like this trail, the spur, comes to an end here. So I'm going to head back. I've made it back to the loop. There's no sign when you're coming from the loop that you're coming back to the trail, you know, that where I split off. So here's the marsh overlook sign that I looked at earlier. So we're going to continue on this trail. So not too bad. But you can see for instance, I've done 3.7 miles already and still counting, and I'm on the far side of the park right now. So I probably got at least a mile to go back, if not more. So you can see why, if you're unsure of what to do, I'm sure the overlook that I just did isn't part of the winter hiking spree. And obviously I've made a wrong turn or two to add up the mileage, but it just doesn't match up with what they're saying on the log sheet. But you know, that's okay. To me, I'm still having a beautiful day out in the woods on trail hiking, and that is never a bad day, unless I get hurt. Then it's usually not a good day. But anyway, we're going to continue on, and we're in this little slash pine area, which is nice. You get intermittent shade a little bit, but you still got that nice breeze. It's on the cool side. Definitely feels good. It's quite sunny though today. Like I said, it's supposed to go up into the mid 70s, so it's warm. I probably could have wore shorts, and I would have been quite comfortable hiking. But I like the protection. Hopefully no ticks, and also no getting cut up or scratched. So, but these trails are wide enough. You could easily. I'm thinking to myself, shorts would have been probably a good choice today. And we're coming back to the sandy road, the equestrian trail, I believe, or just the road. I'm not sure what it is. I just keep calling it the equestrian trail, but I don't think that's really what it is, but it might be. Anyway, we're crossing this sandy road now, and we're going back on the trail. A little further along, there's a lot of these posts here with the white on the top, and that's making me think more and more that it is not trail markings, that they just painted them. They're probably separating maybe a different area of the park. I'm not sure, but they're here off the trail on the right hand side. It makes no sense. And I see some off on the left as well. But you see, here's the trail I'm following, and here's the posts. So maybe they're just there so someone doesn't run over them or run into them, or maybe it marks a section of the park that you know, for whatever internal reasons or whatever, they want to mark different sections. So but because they're painted with one single white tip, for a second there I almost thought it was like a marker, but more and more I'm realizing that's probably not the case. And this area is like no other part of the trail that I've been on so far. You have these shrubs that are above my head in most places, and you walk through them, a path cut in them. It wasn't very long, maybe a tenth of a mile, but just something different. And I could see horses have been using here. And now I am still on the west loop. I can see by the two blazes here. So I'm gonna take a look at the map, figure out where we're at. But I definitely think I picked the right path going to the left. I just don't know where I join up with the east loop, but it should be coming up fairly soon. There's a really good sign here telling you which is the west and which is the east loop. So I know they're joining, and this is the connector trail, which leads back there. You can see the information board over there. You know what, we're gonna walk over there. At this point, what matters. I wonder if that's the gopher tortoise board that I saw earlier, or if it's a different one. Well, we'll find out. Again, it's not that far. What is that, tenth of a mile? And I'm here already. Why not just walk a little extra? And that'll let me know what I've done. So it looks similar to that area. So it could very well be. If it is, I'd be pretty happy, because that means I did actually walk almost the whole connector now. And this is in fact the same information board where I turned in. So I had walked up there and then turned back. And I think this is the path that the other hiker went, or maybe he went down that one. They probably all lead to the same area. So anyway, we're gonna head back to the trail. I guess I could take that path too, but it doesn't make a difference. Go where you know. And we'll make it back and we'll finish up this loop area here. I'm looking at the map, and I think from here there's pretty much no other, well, there's one, I shouldn't say there's no other side trails. There's the Seven Creeks Trail, which passes through, as well as another trail, but I think they're co-located. So hopefully I will not get turned around or lost going forward. But now that I'm on the way back, I mean, it wasn't that bad. And you know, once again, if I say you take your time and you work the problem, you figure it out. And I'm just over 4.35 miles. I've been walking for over 2 hours, including my break. And I'm back to where the east and west loop meet. And there's the beautiful sign there. Need more of those. And we're gonna go here. And we'll be taking the east loop. And that should take me back to the parking lot, because that's where I started, on the east loop. We're back on the east trail, as you can see by the markings, that one blaze. One vertical blaze. What we're used to normally. And we're coming around and got some shrubs around us, not too much, but it's coming to an open area. I see a hiker up ahead, so I'm gonna stop recording. Just had a beautiful interaction with another hiker. So he sees me, the first thing he says, "Where the heck am I?" So he's having the same problem I'm having with the map. And he's using the one from the pamphlet, which has all the parks together, and it's not good for navigation. So I was able to aid him only because I know where I'm at. And I said, you're going to see a sign up ahead, so you know that's exactly where you're at, where the east and west loop meet, along with the connector. Almost hurt my ankle, but that was the good one. So we were just commenting on how, we agree the maps are terrible here, and a little signage would be nice, a little more signage. But the blazes are helpful, and if you take your time, but if that map was more useful, like to me, the kiosk map. Actually, without that, I would have been totally lost here. That map is the only thing that really kept me being able to navigate where I'm at, because all the trails are depicted on it. So I really think they ought to redo that pamphlet or make that map available. Even just, make a QR code with it and you could download it. But if not, make sure if you come here, take a picture of that map at the kiosk before you leave, because without it, it's going to be pretty hard. The good thing is that, you could get lost, but it's pretty hard. Most of the trails intersect, and if you're, kind of remember where you came from, worst thing you do is turn around and just go back where you came from. But it's not easily intuitive. I mean, you could get lost by going off on different trails and keep walking away from the parking lot. And I'm crossing the dirt path, the equestrian trail, whatever I'm calling it now. But this is the Seven Creeks Trail, which I'm hoping to do in the future, the very near future. So we're going to continue. So I have an idea of where I'm at now with the loops, because on the map it shows me crossing that trail. So I'm really in the home stretch now. We're coming back toward that road area, and then eventually we'll be turning south toward the parking lot. My first glimpse of structure, I can see it's the house that's next to the parking lot, and it has a orange windsock on the one of the corners, and I can glimpse that. So I know I'm heading back in the right direction toward the parking lot. So we've already turned south, and the parking lot should be more or less in that direction straight ahead. Not too far, maybe a quarter of a mile or less. So I just passed the 5 mile mark, and it's 11:50. So hopefully, maybe 12 o'clock we'll be done. It's pretty good. Can't complain, although it doesn't matter. I'm not worried about it. I have no timeline to finish. Just, I do mental math in my head, as I always say, monkey math, just to, entertain and preoccupy myself and estimate, when I think I'll be done. It's not a desire to hurry up and get finished. At least not in this case. So you can see the windsock right there. I actually can see the parking lot from here. I can see the top of a vehicle. I believe it's mine. So that's good to know it's still there at least. And we're going to be pretty much done with this. Definitely a lot warmer and brighter here, especially with this white sand, this like sugary sand that I'm walking on. It's harder to go, obviously, but you can see and feel the sun just reflecting right off of it. It's very warm here, and it's quite bright. Sunglasses would be good here. Anyway, I'm back at the parking lot, so that's going to be the end of this one. I'll do a recap in a minute. Okay, so this one's going to be done. I'm going to use the shade here a little bit, stay out of the sun, and but I think you can see me better, not washed out. Pretty good, a little over 5 miles, over 2 hours to do this. I'll put the numbers at the end. 2 tips I could probably give, especially the first one, which is the most useful, is take a photograph of this map at the kiosk. Without this, I think you're going to be lost. The 2 maps that are here are pretty much useless, if you ask me. They're not detailed enough. They don't show enough of the trails and the markings. So take a picture of the map, but also take a picture of the legend, which all the trails are and what they go to. So if you see a sign on a tree, you know which trail you're on, not only on the map, but on the legend, so you know how long it is and where it goes. So that would be my suggestion. Another suggestion I could possibly make is, instead of going clockwise, like I went to the left, maybe going to the right. I think it would be a little easier at first, because when you come to where all those trails come together, you've already been on the trail for a little while, and you might be a little bit more familiar and have your bearings. But I don't think that's as useful as number 1 tip: take a picture of this map. Without this, I think you're going to have a hard time. Can you do it? Yes, you can, but you have no idea where all the trails are. This is what gives you the trails, because on the maps they don't show up. Other than that, it's a great resource. I do like it. There's a lot of nice trails here. I'd probably go exploring and do some more. I would come back here and do some of the other trails. Obviously, you have multiple trails here that you can do, and I would probably come out and explore. Anyway, hope you liked it. Hope you found this entertaining. Please, comments, questions. I was thinking about, while I'm walking, putting together a non-hiking episode, in the sense of like answering questions that I've gotten. I have a couple, but not that many. So if anybody has something they want to know about, me, the channel, hiking, whatever, please send a question either to my email, which is in the About Me on the channel, or put it in a comment, and eventually I'll probably put it together into an episode once I get enough, which, with the limited number of people that are watching, it's going to take a while to get a lot of questions. But if I get enough to do, maybe 10 minutes or 15 minutes of talking, I'll put something together. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Till we meet again.